Mavis had stressed the point that women need access to funding. How is it that with your experience and with your position in the chamber, what would you say to the women out there? How can we access the kind of funding that helps us to take our businesses from small to medium to scaling?
Thank you, Dr. Funke. There are many ways that we will talk later. Women need more than just financial assistance. Number one, women first need to register. It depends on the level that you are operating your business, because we know that in Africa, over 83% of all jobs come from informal sectors. And out of this 83%, 60%, over 30% is actually women. Now, we have a lot of women who do business, but the women that do business, not all of them are actually registered. So for me, the first thing is to actually tell the women, do register your business. Because when you register your business, you actually keep your business in a position to be assisted. Number two, we find a lot of women do business, but the collateral would be in the name of a husband, a brother. It's not in your name. And these are the things that banks need. Now, we at the Chamber have worked with various financial institutions whereby our women, our members, will be given financing without collateral. But what we need is historical data of your business. How has your business been performing? In Kenya, for example, women conduct business through mobile read to take this history that is in your mobile as part of the certification to confirm that you actually have been conducting business. So what we are saying is that, number one, register your business. Number two, you need to get yourself into a grouping which will assist you, because as an individual, it becomes difficult to change policy. But when you are part of a group, and that grouping, for example, the Chamber, will discuss with the bank and will be able to assist you. Thank you, Doctor.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Fatima. So we are saying move away from the informal and formalize so that you can organize. Today, I got a call from one of my friends in Kibera. Now, Kibera is one of the largest slums in East Africa. Indeed, some people would say in Africa. And her question to me was, is this gathering only for people who have gone to big schools? And I said, no, it is not. This gathering is for all of us. So we can all come together and help one another. Even if your business is as small as doing hair, you can grow it into the kind of growing concern that will impress and help your community and help other women to grow in that region too. We talked about thriving in the face of this pandemic that we're facing. Whereas many people have complained that income has gone down, profits have dwindled, we are privileged to be surrounded by women who are actually thriving in these times. And those tips we will ask about. Let me begin with a very unusual yet very opportune kind of business. We all are aware of the very severity of the virus that the world is facing today. And we know that at the very end of it is a lot of casualties. One of us here actually runs a business that handles exactly that. Mavis, how is it that running a funeral services business in such a time as this has been, well, not a bad story for you? Please share with us.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. What I would want to say first and foremost is pandemics, when they do come, you learn from what has happened previously. It's very important. So for our business, Nyaradzo Funeral Assurance Company, which has got two divisions: the assurance, where people pay for policies, and the funeral services, which actually does the funeral services. So what we usually do is, we had a pandemic way before, the cholera, typhoid previously, and from these pandemics that we did have, we actually drew up protocols, procedures, policies that one had to follow when faced with taking care of bodies that have got that contagious disease. Wow. So what we did is, from those protocols, it was a matter of just making them kick in to make sure that you are doing everything above board. And not only that, what we also need to understand, you've got institutions like the World Health Organization, which are also there to give guidance. So for us, it was a matter of merging what our country, what our government, what our municipals were actually bringing in, and matching those to the world-class standards that were being given by the World Health Organization. That being said, for us as a company, the first and foremost important thing was for us to make sure that our staff were the frontliners. For us, the nurses, the doctors worldwide were being called frontliners. But for our company, the everyday undertaker, the consultant, or the client servicing clerk, they are our frontliners. They are the ones who are coming into contact with the deceased, or being called for what we call removals, where the person has died from, and bringing them up to our service centers. For us, so the most important aspect was to make sure that on a day-to-day basis, these people were protected. And by being protected, it meant that we had to make sure that we provide all the personal protective equipment to make sure that they don't contract the disease. And not only that, follow through on all other protocols, which is, the normal. You have to wash your hands, you have to have temperature taken. And this also goes even for the clients that are coming in, the bereaved families that are coming into our service centers. So it meant that we needed to have protocols written down, so that across the country, where we have 30 plus service centers, everyone had the standard way of doing business, which I think for any business, this is very important. How have you standardized your day-to-day business? And this, making sure that everybody is doing everything that they're supposed to do and following through on those protocols, on those policies, and on those procedures. But as you can note, it meant that we also had to forego some things because we needed to buy that PPE. It was something that was not budgeted for, and it didn't come very cheap. So what you need to do as well is go back to the drawing board, go back to your finances. What do you need to do? Because at the end of the day, like what I said, is the protection of of our staff, and also the going concern of the business. So
Before
that
I let
was.
you go, Mavis, did you receive any help, financially or otherwise, from your government in Zimbabwe during this time?
No, we did not. Like what I said, it's going back to the drawing board, going back to your finances. Where do you need to put the money to make sure that you have everything, that you need for the business to go forward in this environment? So it meant also we needed to put hold on some of the projects that we wanted to do, so that we could channel those finances to make sure that all our staff were protected, and to make sure that everything was above board and according to the WHO standards. Thank you.
Beautiful. Now, Mavis is not the only woman on this board who's doing unusual business. I'm going to move from Zimbabwe to Nigeria, where Aramide Akinyosho is sitting. Now, Aramide has the particular spread of areas that interests me, because you see, she does business across from Nigeria, Benin Republic, Chad, Niger, China, France. And Aramide is an architect. Aramide, how do you find it in your industry? I believe we have a bit of a delay there. In the meantime, please do bear with us. We are working, most of us, out of Africa. And as of now, digital technology is still a bit of a challenge for us. Do please bear with us. Aramide, are you ready? If she's not, I'll move on to Meg. Margaret.
Yes.
Aramide, is that you?
Yes, yes.
Ça va? Ça marche maintenant? Or shall we give you a minute to sort out the video and the audio on your end? While we wait for Aramide to sort that out, I'll move on to Margaret. I am particularly gladdened to see Meg here today. I believe the last time that I saw her was on the other side of a classroom, and it's quite an honor to be moderating a conversation with her in it. Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you, Funke.
Now, one of the things we talked about was the importance of food and how, as African entrepreneurs, we need to look at the industries that will continue to grow in the future of Africa. Now, at Maize Foods, what have you learned during this particular pandemic?
What we have learned is that back in the village, Maize Foods is based in Eldoret in Kenya, in the western part of Kenya. And because we were forced to stay back at home, we were forced to look back at what we can do back at home with our farmers, with our women, and still continue to create a business. So for us, it was interesting that this solidified our relationship with our suppliers, mainly the farmers. We were also able to get very innovative because at our processing facility, usually we receive the raw materials from the farmers when they are not completely ready to be used. I'll use the examples of the vegetables.
Right.
And during this pandemic, we had to get very creative to ask the farmers to do part of the value addition at the farm level, because we had to reduce the number of people that we bring into the factory. So considering that we could not have as many people working inside the factory, we had to think of how we could shift part of this process to the farms. And in that case, we were able to create employment at the village level. So we actually shifted part of our processing back to the farmers. And this was a very interesting learning curve for us. And it's unimaginable that 10 years later, we are realizing that actually the farmers are able to do part of the value addition. So for us, it was exciting that during this time, we were able to interact closer, find solutions together, and be able to create some form of employment at the village level.
Okay. Did this entail the farmers spending additional money?
No, it meant them earning more money, because what we did is that we shifted the costs that usually we incur for the casual laborers at the factory, and these costs were shifted to the farmers. So actually, we increased our buying price by about 15%, yeah.
By 15%?
Yes.
So your farmers gained 15% in this COVID period?
Exactly.
Amazing. We have been joined by Ms. Letizia Moratti. I had said earlier that she would be joining us from Milan in Italy. We have the singular honor of today sitting with the former mayor of the city of Milan, the chair of E4Impact Foundation, and of course, a very supportive sister in this fight to get the women to the top of the economic ladder. Thank you again and welcome, Ms. Moratti.
Thank you, and sorry for joining you not in the right time, but we were confused with the the timing. So
We understand.
let me just begin by thanking all of you participating to this first, and I hope the first of several webinars also by E4 Impact on the important theme of impacting women in business. I know we have today a high-level panel. We have Madam Fatma Elmawi, we have Arami de Akinosho, we have Grace Muga, we have Amdia Ismaila, Margaret Common, Mavisa Matarana Nikia, and our moderator. So thanks, and sorry again for probably not telling in the right way your names. As president of the E4 Foundation, is really an honor for me to participate to this session. As you all know, women play a significant role in the socioeconomic development of both developed and developing economies, as they account for a significant percentage of the operator of small and medium-sized enterprise. But there is still a gap. There is a gap in Africa. The involvement of women in entrepreneurship involves considerable risks, hard work, and enormous sacrifices within the backdrop of challenges such as widespread inequality in education and unequal access to land and productive inputs. One may conclude that women are usually discouraged from venturing into enterprise development, but it's not like that, as you are proving. On the ground, the story is a different one. Women are starting and growing businesses at an unprecedented rate. Moreover, I think it is noticeable that entrepreneurship, growth, and female empowerment are complementary to one another. The involvement of women in various entrepreneurial activities has put women in key roles in the society, in the economy, in culture, making significant impact in all segments of economy and society. Going to look at a few numbers. According to the OECD African Outlook, the last one, which has been published on 2016, full female participation in the labor force would mean an increase in the African GDP of $60 billion. Female-run businesses are steadily increasing all over the world, and Africa's women represent a catalyst for change. Empowering women means a better future for everyone. What is the condition that can help and can further enhance and empower women to contribute to sustainable growth in Africa? In my view, I think the key element is education. And while primary and secondary education, of course, remain vital, the E4 Impact Foundation has chosen to focus on university management training. This training promotes local entrepreneurship through a global partnership between universities, foundations, and businesses. Providing business training is a basic step, in our view, for achieving transformative change. Our female entrepreneurs represent a step forward in achieving the United Nations Sustainability Goal number 5, achieving gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. As a foundation, our interest to empower women through an action-oriented entrepreneurship program derives from the belief that the diffusion of women entrepreneurship, especially in informal and rural areas of Africa, will contribute to the creation of many new enterprises that will increase local capabilities to bring rural economic growth, and more importantly, will help significantly the African government's effort to create much needed employment and thus alleviate poverty. In conclusion, I would like to share with you our experience of E4 Impact. Having trained over 400 African female entrepreneurs has shown us that women entrepreneurs are, first and foremost, women. caring, empathic, and always putting the needs of their children and families in forefront. And they are entrepreneurs, demonstrating adaptability, innovativeness, creativity, strength, resilience, and a firm determination to succeed. What more? Because of this characteristic, African women are leading the way in overcoming the economic downturn caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. May the African proverb that says, if you empower a woman, you empower a nation, will continue to inspire all of us. Thank you for this important gathering, and I look forward to listen to the results of this first, and as I hope, the first of many other webinars, and hopefully gathering that would be allowed us to stay together physically. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moratti.
Thank you.
I have to add at this point that at E4Impact, the focus on women is not a coincidence. When you look at the kind of entrepreneurs that are coming out of Africa today, then you realize that this is the time. It's now. If we do not get the women prepared, relevant, and growing in this generation, we would have failed ourselves and the ones that come after us. In ancient days, we learned by looking at the animals that occur in nature and how they live and how they lived in harmony with their habitat. The African elephant lives in herds. And when it is difficult times, whether it is in times of famine or drought, the herd begins to move from one point to another. Now, the female who leads the herd is one who has become a repository of the knowledge of ancient times, of old routes that those elephants used to pass to get to resources like food and water. And it didn't matter if they were on the other side of the Serengeti, they found water because they had a leader who remembered the ancient past. So today we're asking that in the way that African women used to raise our children and lift up our communities together, that we will begin to stand together and do that again. It is now time to remember, as I was told back in the day by Stephen Saka back in MIT, and he said to us, until now, you have reached to where you're going by competition. But because you are here, the competition stops and it becomes cooperation. We have now reached the point where cooperation is the way forward for every African business, especially for those that are run by women. Now, in different ways, we have been cooperating with one another to ensure that our businesses and our communities grow. During our preliminary discussions, one of the things that Aramide had said was that being an architect in her field as a woman, it has not exactly been easy. And during COVID times, where her staff are not in the office, she has had to make extraordinary arrangements, including arrangements for data, for power, so that work can continue. I see that Aramide is back online. Aramide,
yes.
bienvenue.
Merci.
Ça va avec l'Internet?
Ça va. For now.
This is our challenge in Africa. We must build better infrastructure. Are you able to hear me now?
So yes, I can hear you. I can
Beautiful.
hear you very well. So
you were talking during our preliminary discussions about how you have managed your team in this period. Would you care to elaborate?
Yes, because it's also a matter of responsibility at the scale of this business, and the idea is to avoid any staff member to take risk in transport, so we can work together. So we basically to satellite office in order to still answer demands, because clients are still in request. As a matter of fact, actually, clients have more time for their architectural projects because actually they are less engaged by businesses. So actually we actually have more pressure. And so there was no option to totally put on hold the activity. So, but considering the fact that the situation is, as you can see now with internet, is fluctuating, but just to allow everybody to be able to work and to be able to be in touch with everybody, yes, I have to make, besides the regular salaries, yeah, it's to make provision for data, to make a provision for power, to be able to fill the generator, you know, all those things to maintain the activity, because at the end, the only point of having an office is to be able to standardize all those needs for everybody to deliver at the same time. And today, this now is coming out of the office. The point where I wonder, what is really the point of having an office today? Because the truth is, clients do not really come often to the office. You actually go to client's office. So yeah, it's totally a question.
I am going to ask you the same question that I threw at Mervis earlier. Have you received any financial assistance from the government in your area?
No, not at all. And actually, as a financial motto today, I refuse to borrow money because the interest rates are so high, it doesn't appear interesting at all. I refuse to have people working for me for free. I have to pay everybody. It puts me in a situation where, okay, it can be a bit tough, but I think it is what allows me to have a kind of mindset. And it's also a form of integrity also, because I don't want to start owing and to anyone, an institution or someone. And so today, yes, I want to be able to handle with my means today. I know next step, it will definitely be easier, but yes, no, I didn't borrow.
Thank you, Aramide. I'm going to move quickly to Grace. Grace, how are you this afternoon?
I'm here. Sorry.
It's great to see you.
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And this is a very stimulating conversation we're having. Now, now I know you to be a producer of luxury goods.
Yes.
In leather specifically.
Yes, very much so.
Very high quality, in fact.
Exactly.
Grace, what are you making these days?
Thank you for the opportunity. It's very interesting to be in these times. Things have changed. Well, my bags are still as good as they have always been, and I'm still trickling in some sales. However, this season really has changed our identity and has really made us to switch into a growth that we didn't expect and a growth that we had not planned for. We were preparing for back to schools with our bags, the jail of fabric bags, and we do bags that are aimed at schools and all that. Now the season changed completely and we had to put that on hold and switch to respond to the need. At first, immediately when it was announced that the first case was there was a panic and we all closed down. We closed in for about 2 weeks as a company, and it was a time of rethinking. Okay, so what next? Who are we going to be? How are we going to proceed? I have staff, I have responsibilities. Which next step am I going to take? LPOs were just being cancelled left, right, center. What action should I take? So immediately we had this in-house consultation with my husband, who is also a co-partner in the business. And realized we need to think how we can step into the needs that are immediate. And so we started looking at what do we have inside the facility. I have the machinery and I have the equipment that can actually respond to this need. And we quickly started trying to design. There were all many designs coming up for masks and people are putting in everywhere. And then you try, it doesn't work. It just goes and smashes your face. So slowly, eventually, we managed to make the first lot of masks. I can tell you we were the first groups that sent out a flyer saying we are making masks. Well, I didn't think what to expect. Okay, you are like expecting maybe a few people will come to buy, but we got overwhelmed. We couldn't meet the demand. The numbers were so many, and we were able to respond. So for me, it was a time to push ourselves. We had to explore new things that we needed to do, including how our facilities operate at the moment. So now we are producing what we call the Jado apparels, because this is a whole new sector that we are discovering new things every day. We are making coveralls, we are making the personal protection care aware that the medics are using. So now we are a different identity, not only in one way, but we don't plan to drop it. This is a need that will always be with us. So as a company, we have expanded ourselves to be able to cope with the realities of our current market.
Thank you.
Now, the last thing that I can mention to you is we also had to switch into digital marketing. We were all locked up in the houses. People are on the internet half of the time, exploring things, just looking at things. And actually, this was another wake-up call that we can actually buy. You can actually buy online. And we swept in, and that is what our luxury bags have been responding, has been working. That's the sector that has been working well for us.
Grace, do you see why I'm smiling at you? Are you glad you did your homework now? All those digital marketing class homework, it pays off, doesn't it?
It does. The marketing really is a part of it. It's now a way of life. If you don't have it, my friends, just get on.
I had said earlier, while we were listening to Ms. Morati, who specifically said that one of the ways to lift ourselves and the women of our communities up is by education. And going back to the question I was asked from my sister in Kibera, it's not only about education from big schools. Not every one of us has the opportunity to go to a big institution. However, in each of our communities, there must be at least one person who is well educated, educated enough to help you. And what we're saying today is find such people. In the lives of each one of the women on my panel today, we can remember at least one particular woman who helped us to get up in those times when we needed a hand. I cannot forget those who carried me. And every day of my life, I find that my legacy includes their legacy because I carry what they gave to me. Many years ago, Yomi Ogunlari picked me up as a teenager, and she taught me how to make 5-year plans and 10-year plans, individually and as a business person. Years later, I found Amaka Obibuaku Eguna, who, although she could be the same age as my mother, became one of my best friends ever, even till today. And through some of the darkest periods as an individual and as a business owner, she held my hand and taught me not to be afraid and to walk my path. So I'm asking today from this panel that we be able and we be ready to help sisters and women in our communities and across other communities. When that time comes, we're asking that we will make ourselves available to them to give them a helping hand to come up. Now, at the beginning of this, one of the things we talked about was getting access to funding. Many of the comments that we have heard have come from people who are actually doing business within the African environment. In Kenya here, we say, kwa ground vituni different sana. It's one thing to learn business school managerial science. It's another thing totally to come and sit down in Africa and do business here. And so today, I'm going to speak to Hamdia from the other side of the coin. Akwaba, my sister.
Thank you.
Hamdia, now you are an investor. What do investors look for? How can our women make their businesses more attractive to you as an investor?
Thank you. And good afternoon from Accra.
Afternoon.
It's nice to see all of you again.
Thank you.
After our mini panel discussion. So I think that the panelists, some of them have raised the issues already. Fatima, for example, did mention about the informal nature of women businesses, which sometimes it's a big issue for investors because depending on the kind of support that is coming, sometimes the informal nature of businesses does not help. And also the scalability of the businesses. Investors generally would be looking for a business that is seeking to grow because they bring in money to grow the business. So first of all, they want to understand, how do you intend to grow this business? You know, how do you intend to make sure that you are able to reach other communities, other places, other countries, even for example. So the first thing we look at is the understanding of what you are doing. And if you look at the panelists that you've assembled, Aramide has already told you what she does and the fact that she doesn't want to borrow money because the interest rate is high.
Exactly.
What we have noticed is that there is also a limited knowledge of financing options for women entrepreneurs, because it's not every time that you need to borrow, for example, from the bank. You can have an angel investor coming in, you could have a discussion and see how they can partner you. There are so many different options. It's not really necessarily always have to borrow. Indeed, the interest rate regime in the continent is not very friendly for businesses which are actually also very small. And so the investor wants to understand your way of understanding the business, because as I always say, investors are not in the business of running your business for you. They are in the business of giving money. So you need to convince the investor that you understand your business. Because if you do, then they can come in with a funding so that, you know, together you can grow the business. So as Fatima said, sometimes it is not only about the financing, it's also about the fact that you have some business knowledge to discuss strategy, to discuss growth, to discuss financial management. Mavis did mention about the fact that the business is going on. She hasn't gotten any money from government, but she's still doing business because she's moving. You know what she's doing? She's actually managing her finances properly. So what she doesn't need now, she just doesn't buy it. She moves the monies to where it is needed most, and that is financial management. And one thing that also really doesn't help us a lot is the fact that we don't also keep proper accounts. For example, I have investments in a company, and we are looking at this company, which we do small investment. I would say a microfinance company, we do small investment. In Ghana, we were under lockdown for about 3 weeks. Most of these businesses we deal with from the microfinance point of view are actually very small businesses, right? And what has happened is that during shutdown, most of them have actually finished their their money. So we need to start them afresh. What we've noticed is that we are going back to look at those that we have been doing business with over the last 5 years and how their repayment has been like, so that we can give them money to come back and start their businesses again. So if you don't have a record, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because then nobody can see what you've done to be able to project that, okay, based on what you've done or based on the past, when we give you this, you could be able to deliver in the future. So that's really the crux of why we are unable to support many women as much as we would like to do. And so maybe when we get back to more key points, I will elaborate on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Handia. Yes, Fatma, you were going to add to that. And before you actually start to speak, I was going to direct the next question to you. During our preliminary discussions, you had mentioned that there is a pot of $2 billion. In Kenyan shillings, that's 200 billion, which has been put down by a bank for entrepreneurship specifically. and you have encouraged women entrepreneurs to participate so they can get a chunk of this and grow their businesses. Could you elaborate, please? Fatma.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to thank Hamdia for what she said. You see, women are entrepreneurial. Women have a bigger investment impact because they support huge portions of the household. So the multiplier effect that women have is way, way bigger than what men has. Now, what Hamdia is talking about, to be honest with you, you need to maintain records. It does not matter whether I'm a hairdresser or I'm working at home. I must say, this is the amount of money I have, and this is how I spend it, because that is the information that financiers would need. Women also need more than just money. Women need a support system. Women need, for example, to be able to balance, because we do a lot of work at home that is not paid for. For example, now during COVID, we are all at home. You as a woman, you want to run your business, and at the same time, you have children at home, and you want to run the house at the same time. So what you do first, you need to acknowledge that COVID is here. Things have changed, as you said, kwa ground vitu ziko different. You must create a support system, number one. And number two, change your mindset. How do you change your mindset? And I liked what Grace spoke about. Look at what you have. Number one, very, very realistically, what can I do with what I have? Maintain records, formalize your business, create a support system, and then review, take a review of what are the obligations that you have and how can I take my business. Clients cannot come to you, but you can go to clients. You can go to them. And the 200 billion, believe you me, starts with education. We are training the women to keep records. We are training the women on how they can seek opportunities and how they can be attractive to bankers and to other investors at large. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Fatma. So many of our audience today, so many people in the audience today have asked questions about access to funding and about assistance with reaching bigger markets for their businesses. I have to say, we have been joined by many people from the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In particular, I see that the chair for agriculture and agro-processing is online here with us. Thank you very much for joining us. We have very many agricultural business people in this audience, and they would like to know how they can receive help, assistance with training, capacity building, advocacy, access to funding. And so I'll answer that question quickly and say, if you believe that anyone on the team here on this panel today can be of help to you, please drop a note and E4Impact will arrange for them to assist you. We are here because of you out there. We made this commitment altruistically. No one is being paid to do this. We're doing it because it is time, it is necessary, and this is how we're going to grow moving forward. So I have to particularly thank all the gentlemen, those solid pillars behind us, and the ones who are in the audience today. Thank you for listening to us. Before we go, we will definitely be talking about the relationship between what we do and our community, gender-wise. I'm going to have to throw that question at Mervis to begin with. Mervis, I must say it is unusual to have a female undertaker. And probably because in our tradition, most African communities consider death to be sacred, spiritual, and perhaps not a woman's forte. And so it is gladdening in a way to see that a sister's holding it down over there. Tell us about your job.
First and foremost, what I think I would like to say is in my company, we believe that a funeral is just like any other event. You may have a birthday, you may have an anniversary, a wedding. So that being the case, the fees, attention to detail for any one of those events should also be accorded to funerals. And because we believe in quality and we believe the Ubuntu philosophy, you are because I am. We want to believe and we want to give that service to the fact that instead of mourning, people will start celebrating the dear departed. So that philosophy has taken us where we are. And we also believe that previously, or the companies that used to be in Zimbabwe, they did not have that African touch to giving services. So what we did when we came on board is, who are we? We are Zimbabweans, Black Zimbabweans for that matter, with our own culture, with our own practices. And we said we wanted to give a funeral service that was different to what was being given, because we wanted to take that. And as said, the multiplier effect also comes in. Me being a woman, I know also that there are other things that women as a whole, when you go to a funeral, they are delegated to women. The cooking, people have been fed. People have got somewhere to sleep. And because we looked at all that, and that is what we believe in, is look for opportunities in your business. And because diversification can come from the little things that will actually give more to the service or to the product that you are giving. As I am speaking now, we have actually rebranded to say now, yes, we have rebranded, and we saying we are an events company, just like any other event there is. And we provide different types of equipment, because we know people have to sleep, like our culture. People come in and they have to be there for 2-3 days. Yes. Now we've mobile bedrooms. We've got mobile toilets.
Mobile bedrooms.
Yes. We've got mobile toilets because we know large number of people, they need ablution facilities. We've got even camping facilities, whereby we've got camping beds. People can use that on the field. We know women actually want to wrap themselves. You cannot just go in your dress. You have to have a wrap so that you're dignified and your head gear.
Yeah.
So we also
and your gele.
That in our Wira Mukuruwe is a friend indeed. And we also provide catering. It doesn't matter where you want us to provide the catering.
You're a one-stop shop.
Yes, we are. And that is what we are saying, that you look for opportunities downstream, because what businesses need now is to look for how you can actually augment, how you can actually build on what you have. You might have a primary product, but how can you make it better? What more do people want? Like you actually have to say, yes, I can give you that. Not wait for the customers to come to you. Go to the customers and find out what they need, and you give them that solution. Yes, we are solution providers, and you find that our payoff line is we listen, we understand, and we provide solution. And this is what we need. As women, we need to provide solution. And once we do that, automatically you'll find that even your business will grow. But downstream, there is also a potential to grow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mavis. Thank you. And I'm sure there are a few things that have come up from this discussion that will be adopted in other communities. I know for sure that my people back home were very big on funerals and big parties. So Owambe with mobile bedrooms would be amazing. I can't wait.
Exactly.
Generally, I've noticed that in our discussions, we've talked about opportunities that have come up in this time? I see people online asking us questions. I'm a pig farmer. I'm a poultry farmer. How do I grow? What kind of vegetables does Margaret Komen grow? What ecosystem is she working in? I know that we do not have enough time to cover all this. So I'm going to invite you for the next one. And I hope that you will join us then. In the meantime, I have questions for two more of my panelists. Aramide, because of the particular nature of COVID-19, it has begun to separate us physically. How do you think that architecture will change after this time? We know schools, hospitals, all our living spaces will need to be rethought about and reevaluated. How does this pose an opportunity for you?
I must say this COVID-19, I've done something better than what I tried to do for 8 years. It was try to ask people to rethink about, oh, how are we doing? How are we living? Does it really make sense to import lifestyles that do not react to the environment? And weirdly enough, just on the residential sectors, because the others, they require a bit bigger machinery, but just on the residential sectors, I have more and more requests for a house in the countryside. More and more people have realized that they need to get away of congested life to reevaluate their lifestyle. The beauty of building in the countryside in the COVID-19 period is you stop importing material, you stop to work with local material, you basically, it is what is called in a very trendy manner, sustainable design, but it is just common sense design, meaning let's use what we have around us, the skills we have around us, to build something that looks like us and lives with us. And this is the amazing opportunity that COVID-19 has given me, because it has really made my life easier in trying to convince people. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much, Aramide. Yes, Fatima, you were going to say.
Yes, one of the things that I would love the women to do, and we've done it at Chamber, is actually to tell the city ladies how you can grow vegetables in your mobile farms, so to speak.
Thank you.
So this has been done. It actually reduces your cost because right now revenues have gone down. So we need to change our mindsets, and we look at other ways of either doing business and other ways to reduce costs. One of the ways is that the mobile farms. And then we have a program that says support a tailor to support a retailer. So you give a sewing machine and a lady makes masks. And you know, again, the multiplier effect, because other people are able to go into the value chain. Somebody makes, somebody sells, and that way it supports so many other people. The other one is an app that was done by the Maasai women in Kajiado. It's called Riziki. It's an app. So this app is for you to be able to assist the vulnerable in society. You really don't have to go physically to house. Within this app, you are able to collect information, work with either a grocery or a shop if it's in a village, and then people go to that shop and then people are able to get supplies. So one thing, and this is where I love what Mavis is saying, we have these opportunities. We simply need to think differently. COVID has been nasty, but COVID has brought a lot of opportunities. So what I would like to tell ladies, when it rains so hard, don't request for the rain to stop. Get a stronger umbrella. Get a stronger umbrella. And you will be able to move forward. We have seen businesses increase. Today, I was talking to business people in Rwanda, and we are telling them, take your shop to where your customers are. Don't wait for the customers to come to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fatma. Indeed, if there's one thing we have learned today, it is that the marketplace has changed. The players are changing. Even the audience is changing. So we must change our mindset, like Fatma has said, and begin to look into new ways to make income that actually works for our communities. Margaret, I'm going to round up looking at you. I remember during our preliminary discussion, you talked about one major thing that had changed for you as a business. The other parts of your business that have been mainly disturbed by importation have suddenly been freed by the closure of borders. How has this worked for you?
When the pandemic broke out, logistics inbound and outbound for us was the biggest nightmare. Inbound meaning the raw material coming from the cooperatives and the farmers to the factory, and outbound meaning the goods leaving the country going for export. Amidst all this, we were surprised to learn that in one of our businesses is chilies. We are in specialized as chili ingredient suppliers. And we were surprised to learn that suddenly there was a huge market or a huge demand for our product in the big cities. And we were wondering why. And we realized because of the pandemic, many people were not able to import. Today, I think I am an ambassador of Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, because now they are consuming the raw materials that our farmers are producing. And instead of us exporting it and taking it out, and then it comes back in another form, I have started to realize that it's possible to add all the value here. Just 2 days ago, I was having a discussion with somebody in Spain, and he was asking me, why are you not doing the oleoresins in Kenya? Why do you ship your raw material to China for them to produce the oleoresins and then bring it back to us? Think about doing that. So during this pandemic, I really am thinking that is the way to go. So for us, it was an eye opener, and despite all the issues that have been happening, the difficulties that we've gone through, the loss of business, as part of the business, of course, is not working as we expected. We are happy that this has created an opportunity for us to see new horizons, not to change our business, just to think about it in a different way, and to realize that the opportunities that seemed so far away are just in our grip. We are able to do it.
Beautiful. Ladies, it has been an honor having you. Thank you for the insight that you bring. Thank you for the wisdom that you have brought today. The Yorubas, my mother's people, say, Agbajowo lafin soya. It means with our fingers gathered together, we beat our chest. We don't beat our chest with a single finger, because when we come together, we're stronger. Thank you for making this gathering stronger today. Thank you, Fatima, Hamdia, Margaret, Grace, Mervis, Aramide, thank you very much. And thank you to Leticia Morati, who has assured us that we will continue to enjoy the benefits of being part of the E4Impact ecosystem. I see the questions that still come online. We encourage people to reach out as they're doing now. Yes, indeed, we will be willing to mentor, and please just reach out. We will find a way to help you out. That's why we're all here. Thank you again for coming on today. We will call on you again and again and again, and we know that you will be there as part of this strong army, raising other women in business and helping us to thrive together. It's been an absolute pleasure being your moderator today. Thank you so much, and bless you all. Thank you to the audience, and see you again soon. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you all. We can still see the messages scrolling on. Thank you so much. Evelyn Adedokun from Ghana, thank you. We have been inspired too. And we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Very eye-opening indeed. Karibu sana, Peter. Yes, we have left it on for a little bit so that people can connect, and perhaps you want to exchange email addresses and speak to certain people. Thank you, Rachel Minor. Thank you.
Oh. Sorry.
Hi, Maryse.
Sorry, I clicked leave the meeting by mistake.
That's okay. We're still seeing comments from the audience.
Okay.
And even though our hour is fast spent, I see that we're still engaging online. And
Okay.
it's quite inspiring. Hello, Isabella.
Hi, lady, that was great. We had a couple of questions, and probably what I want to ask you is a lot of the participants are inquiring if they can get your contacts. I see Fatma has left us. There were quite a bit of questions directed to the chamber. How can people join the chamber?
Yeah.
What are the other services that they're offering to entrepreneurs? Margaret, there was a question about value addition to indigenous. Yes, in Zambia.
Right.
So I think what we'll do, we'll still share these questions, and the participants can still ask a few questions. I think we still have our panelists here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we can.
Yeah.
Are we able to throw it open, Isabella?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so let me open it up for everyone.
We're glad. Do start your business.
We had Peter who really wanted to get advice from the panelists. You know, he has a chicken business. How does he identify a market?
Yes, I saw Peter's message. We will be in touch with Peter from the accelerator, so we can put him on the list for our next set of entrepreneurs for training and capacity building. Some other inquiries have come in that way. Yes, yes, yes. Like we say here, the answer is always yes. What's the question?
All right, so to the attendees who are still here, you can actually be able to ask your questions directly. You're all unmuted.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Isabella. Nazir Abubakar. We can't quite hear you, Nazir. Hello.
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 Hi, Nazir.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid I'm a bit late.
That's all right.
I see you guys have already started, so I'll just wait and listen to what is going on.
Right.
I'm just hoping I would get something out of this because I just knew last minute. So.
Are you a businessman, Nazir?
Hoping to be.
What kind of business are you hoping to go into?
I'm still trying to weigh my options. Actually, that is why I logged into this to the webinar so I could get some ideas.
Beautiful.
I've been looking into poultry and other businesses as well, but I'm still trying to weigh my options. So I thought maybe this could help.
Amazing. One of the things that we have done today is help people to look at their skills and see how they can market those skills and be relevant within their communities. If you would like to speak to someone on the E4 Impact team later, please just reach out and someone from this end will speak with you.
Oh, that would be very nice. I will, inshallah.
Beautiful. We're always glad to have the gentlemen on our forum. And welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope in time I will also be able to contribute.
Definitely, of course.
Hello. Okay, I have a question which came on email.
Right.
Are there examples of women-owned businesses who have successfully collaborated before and after COVID? If so, what are the key success elements?
We had taken that question in relation to collaborations and partnerships when Fatma El Mawi was saying, first, formalize, next, organize. Because in organizing, we're able to help with capacity building and with advocacy. On this panel today are two women, Margaret and Grace, who have collaborated in the past. They are graduates from the same program at E4Impact, where they learned capacity building, business management, and quite a lot of things we can't begin to list on this program. And one of the things that they bring to the table is that ability to collaborate, to look beyond their immediate sphere of influence. For example, Margaret had said they took the processing to the farmers. Most of our farmers are women. So by taking the entire ecosystem into consideration, they were able to grow their businesses. Margaret, do you want to add something to that?
Okay.
On women collaborating for business.
Yeah. I look at it from the whole value chain, specifically in our field. So collaboration starts from the backward integration where we work with farmers. So, and again, I will echo what Fatma said. Collaboration is only possible if you're in a formal engagement. So we work with smallholder groups that are registered, cooperatives, limited companies. Those are the ones that succeed in forming those kind of partnerships. We have partnerships across the border. We have partnerships in Uganda and Tanzania that produce for us, but it's only possible for us to work with those kind of people if they are formalized into a group or cooperative, they are registered, they have records, they have a formal system of working. So exactly what Fatma said, it can only work if you're in that formal setup. When it comes from the B2B perspective, there are many options, but it's very difficult to partner in the whole business in totality. I would look at it from an outsourcing perspective, look at the activities that you have in your business that another partner can take over. And there are several examples. Like for example, we have worked with another organization to help us with capacity building for our staff. So you can partner with another organization to build the capacity of your staff in a certain aspect. So there are so many examples across the whole value chain, but partnerships are possible only if you're formalized.
I just want one quick one, Funke.
Yes, great.
For us, you see the orders, you receive orders that are quite large. So I belong to an association which we call Ubunifu Association. And so when you get an order, you look out for among your members who we are able to share and co-share and agree, whom I understand, they understand my quality, what I'm looking for. And so as you mentioned, you'll have an agreement on how you're going to produce and support each other, and especially to meet the deadlines, so that we don't fail to pick up an order which would actually really propel our businesses. So that is one thing that we've done, especially for the masks. You realize that now everybody, all the companies now are going back to work. And so we need to be able to support them. If anybody needs any orders, they don't come to JLO and realize that JLO will not be able to supply because we don't have the capacity yet. There are many other people out there. There are many other businesses with similar activities that we can actually engage. So that is one of the ways that we partnered with them, and also identifying partners who can also supply us, especially materials. The higher the quantity, the more the demand in terms of your working capital. So with that, again, you go, instead of going too deep into your pocket and being unable to manage, you agree and discuss with them regarding your LPO, and they can give your products at a lower, maybe give you 30 days credit period, which also is really helpful. So there are dynamic ways that you can look into collaborating with others and then ensure that your business at least stays afloat. You see, for COVID, we have to stay on board. Otherwise, our staff go. For me, the greatest nightmare was to lose my staff, whom I've invested so much on. I couldn't imagine losing any one of them. And I had to go back to business and be alive and make sure that my people are on board as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Grace.
All right.
Isabella, you were about to say something.
Yes, I have 4 participants who are still here and they have their hands up. If we could, since you're already here, and I'm going to ask Jackie Mbala.
Yes,
you have
please.
your hand up.
Yes.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. Where are you dialing in from today?
I'm dialing in from Nairobi at River.
Fantastic. Karibu sana.
Thank you. I work for USAID project.
Fantastic.
Yes, and I'm an administrator.
Right.
It was a 5-year project, and it commenced in 2015. It was supposed to end in 2020 June. So you can see it came with a pandemic.
It did.
Period. Yes. And I was supposed to be jobless as from last month.
Right.
And it was a wake-up call because I realized I should have another stream of income.
Right.
That's why I joined this panel, to be able to learn more. And fortunately enough, I was added for 3 more months until September. So I'm looking into what to do after that. That's why I'd really be happy to get in touch, especially with the Chambers of Commerce, to get training and know what I can do after that. So that even if I'm not able to get a job, by then I can get into business. Or even if I get another job, I can do both of them.
You know, we always say profit is better than wages.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Thank you for this opportunity and privilege. It's been an honor. I've been blessed with all of you for the wise and good insight.
You're very welcome, Mr. Angu. Welcome.
Thank you.
We will have someone get in touch with you from our end as well, so we can lend as much help as we can to your project.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Isabella.
Then we have Francois Nwabufo. Please forgive me if I didn't say that correctly.
It's okay. We forgive today.
It's okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Good afternoon, Francois. Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Okay, this is Francois from Cameroon.
Welcome.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Actually, I rally women around and train them, and we produce things and sell. So for some time, it's really been challenging. We have a stock of cocoa oil and powder that can be transformed to beverages. We really want to get more ideas how we can valorize our products.
Right.
I also take them into rearing, that is producing mushrooms for exportation as well, for sale. And recently been going into dry foods. So knowing the challenges of a hydrator, I was really looking for a solar panel kind of hydrator that will really help me get the best because of electricity cost. And so I want to transform a lot of dry foods, and I've tried a lot of business, a lot of things, and I don't like doing business always alone. I always have women I bring up and say, let's try this one, let's get into this, let's get into this. Sometimes I feel frustrated. So this is actually a very interesting panel for me. I'll really be grateful if I can get a mentor, someone to, actually there are a lot of food in Cameroon. I've traveled many African countries, but Cameroon has a lot of food, vegetable, fruits. Today, this pandemic, their food can't even go out. We don't even know how to use it, how to even transform and save. And so, but meanwhile, other countries are really doing well in transformation. So it's quite exciting to be here to see that people are really doing things in their country, and I really want to get connected. I will be grateful if you people can help us to grow. Thank you.
Beautiful, Francois. Yes, yes, and yes again. One of the things that we pride ourselves on doing at E4 Impact is linking people up to the next level. And so here you will find that you'll find help for machinery, for installation, for people who can help you to see if indeed that's the right machinery that you need at this level of your business. And so I would ask that you please get in touch and let this conversation continue even after the panel. Mercy and Isabella, we will speak with Francois so we can add her to our ecosystem.
Thank you. My email is there.
Very well noted.
Thank you.
Okay.
Actually, okay, could we share our contacts? I'll type out our contacts on the chat, and if you want to send us an email or check our Facebook page or LinkedIn, either way, we can still connect afterwards. Over to you.
Okay.
Jane, I see Jane
Kumalo.
Wanjiku is on the line. Linda.
Hello.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Where are you dialing in from today?
I am from Nairobi. I'm calling from Tena.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Funke, Margaret, Isabel, Mavis. It was a very enlightening session, ladies. And also Fatma. I really wish Fatma was here because story in regards to Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
But I'd also like to direct a question to Margaret.
Right.
I've had an interest, an on and off interest in agribusiness, particularly value addition chains. And I'm doing a bit of research on tea, and I heard that you mentioned.
Right.
Okay. I didn't get the final part of her question.
I believe she got cut off. What she was saying is that she's been doing a bit of research into agribusiness.
Okay.
And I think we will wait for her to come back on and then take that question again. In the meantime, we will attend to whoever's next on the line.
All right, so maybe we can have Nozizwe Kumalo.
I have Linda Rondozai ready to speak. Linda?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, sorry for cutting off. My name is Aisha Wanjiro from Nairobi.
Hi, Aisha.
I'm so pleasured to meet these women. You know, it takes a lot to meet such women, okay? I'm very pleasured. So I work with a company from France. I'm a sales manager in Kenya.
Right.
And we deal with fragrance. And currently I was cut off because of this pandemic.
Wow.
Okay. But in the sideways, I've been doing importation from Egypt of Islamic clothes. Okay. But I've never registered my business because it was a sidekick.
Right.
So right now I want to go ahead with the training, business training and funds. So my question is to you, Funke.
Right.
How do I get the funds? How do I get the training so that I can move forward, actually, because I love business.
Aisha?
Yes.
You have already started.
Thank you.
You're on the road already. You said yourself that because it was a side hustle, you did not formalize. And so you see, you're already on that road. All you need to do is join the race. Make it formal. There are ways to register your business. We have resources at the A4 Impact end, and we're able to direct you in the kind of registration that you should do for the kind of business you're in, so that it can be tailor-made to your particular sector. I would ask that you get in touch with Mercy Kimalat and make an appointment with her so that we can have a discussion. Is that all right, Aisha?
It's all right. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good job. Be encouraged, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nozizwe, if you can hear us, you have your hand up. Kumalo. Maybe as we wait for her to get ready, we have Eliza Mutai.
Right.
Eliza,
hello
please
there.
ask your question.
Hello, Eliza. Yes, we're aware that there might be technical difficulties in some areas. Indeed, here in Nairobi, it's a rainy afternoon. We're very grateful for the steady streaming. And indeed, we understand that in some areas, it might not be so easy. Hello.
Nozizwe has audio issues, so she will type her question, and when she finishes, I will read it out. So maybe we can move to
I have
Fadumo
one.
Abdi.
I'm seeing Jane Wanjiko.
Yes.
Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Did you have a question, my sister?
I would like, I am Wanjiko from Kenya.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I do business. I have been in business for many years. I had been in handcraft.
Right.
But because of how the market has been going on or like changing all the time, I am now doing the jewelry from precious stones.
Wow.
Nice. Yes, so I would like to be trained, and how would I be trained, and then how can I get more skills on how to make the quality products?
Hey, Shiko, my sister, you're making jewelry from precious stones.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. See, the future of Africa is in the hands of women like yourself, because you already have the skill, and the creativity is what we need to sell to the outside. So please reach out. Mercy is here, she's waiting. She'll hear from you, and you can come in and visit us and see us. We would like to see what you produce. We would like to show the world the kind of things that come out of Africa. So well done, well done. We're very proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Beautiful.
Funke, so I had a question directed to Mavis. I've just sent to you on chat. Have you seen it, or I can read it out?
No, I am not able to view that at this time.
Okay.
If it's a question that we can reply to by email, I'm very happy to address them after the program.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Please feel free to share the details so that those who would like to get in touch with us after now can do so with ease.
Funke, sorry, one last question perhaps, which also for me, I have a personal interest in the answer.
Right.
So there was a question from Victoria Machakaire, and she said, I want to imagine that all the panelists are family people.
Yeah.
It's known that family or the home setup, the responsibility largely lies on the women in most cases, and can seriously impact women's ability to excel in business or professional circle because it becomes too much to balance the two. Question is, how have the panelists managed to be so successful without breaking their backs or failing in their business?
Well, I think I will begin with Mavis on this one. Mavis, please take that question from beginnings.
Okay. I'm not so sure if my esteemed colleagues are in the same document that I'm in, because I said I'm a co-founder. The other founder is my husband.
Exactly.
Old problem, whereby yes, you are an employee as well, and then wife at home. So on the two fronts, what I would want to dwell on, I think, is on the two fronts. Okay, at work, what I have done, what I did is to make sure that I departmentalized every section of the business, made sure that there were departments that looked at every step of the service provision. And then made it a point that we got people in and we trained them, and we trained them well. And also, I think the one thing that I usually try to do is to make sure that I empower the people who are in those departments, going to everybody who's in that department, so that there is total buy-in from everybody that this is our business. So on that front, if you have that going on the business side, it's easy for you now to also dwell on the family side. I'm a very passionate mom. I don't like missing my sons. I've got three boys. And all of those three boys are very sporty. They play 3 sports. And it meant that Tuesday afternoon, I'm watching a game. Wednesday afternoon, I'm watching a game. Saturday or even Friday, and then Saturday. So it meant in the beginning, in the early days of the business, I made it a point that I had people trained and they were able to make decisions when I was not there. And when that decision has been made, it's very important. If it's a wrong decision, don't hammer on people that they've done wrong. It's a matter of, oh, you could have actually done this way. But from the way that you have done, what lessons have we learned so that tomorrow we will not repeat the same mistake?
Right.
So that also assisted. And then on the home front, you make sure that you've got that support system at the home as well. Who is taking care of your house, of your household? You train them and you train them well. And you also empower them.
Yes.
That empowering on the home front and on the work front is very important. And then when you come now to the wife side, yes, that's where I'm a Christian and I'm not apologetic about that. And where it says submit, and therefore wives submit to your husbands, I take that literally. Yes, at work, I'm a subordinate and I don't see my husband as husband. He's my boss.
Exactly.
He has to crack the whip. He has to crack the whip. And I have to take it within the context of the business.
Right.
And then when I come home, I submit. I'm a wife. And make sure that what needs to be done at home is done and is done properly. So I think that's the way that I would answer that.
Thank you, Mavis. Before I swivel this over to Margaret and then to Grace, I have to say, as an African woman, I am raising 6 children between the ages of 16 and 18 months. So the youngest one is less than 2 years old. I have always done this. In fact, each of my degrees, I have ended up being pregnant or having babies while I was receiving those degrees. And I have only survived because of my own support system. And I'm talking about members of my family and people who have become members of my family in the course of life. I find that involving my children, my husband in what I do makes it easier for me to actually achieve the aims that I set for myself, the goals I set for myself. Today, in fact, this program this afternoon, my intern is actually my 15-year-old son, Samuel. And all the tech that you see today has been set up by that young man and my husband. So indeed, as women, we cannot be expected to prosper or to thrive without this essential partnership with our families, with our communities, and also with our spirituality. You mentioned being a Christian, and indeed faith is a very big part of who we are as mothers of not just households, but also of economies as a whole. My friend and classmate, Yetunde Adepoju, she says that we are a tribe of sorts. And what is special about a tribe? It's a community of people who ascribe to the same values, who treasure the same things, and who therefore commit to making those values work. And really, family is the bedrock of what we're building in Africa. We must always remember that as women. Grace, you were about to say something.
On my end, I think first we started the business together with my husband. It's not my business alone. It's a partnership. It's a journey where I need his guidance. I need his inspiration. His ways of thinking is so different from me. And I understand that is what I need. One thing I can tell you is I don't segregate who I employ. I'm open to both men and women. And I appreciate the uniqueness of how God created us. So you will see whoever comes into your life has a purpose and for a season. They have value to add. And as Mavis said, I'm also a Christian and pray and believe in praying for the business and trusting God together with my family to see it well. The first tests for my bags are actually my family. Whenever I have a new product, I want to hear their sentiments. I want to hear their views, my son's views. They will likely be telling me something very different. My daughter will tell me, no, ma'am, that is no way. So that is how I value the family, and working with them, knowing what I'm doing is very important for us, even as a business. There's no way I'm going to operate in isolation. I need the advice, I need the guidance. I'll tell you one thing, the time for the masks, I was struggling how to go about it, to start it off. And I remember my husband telling me, do the flyer. Send me the flyer every day. He was asking me during the day and in the evening, where is the flyer? And the day we sent the flyer, that was the beginning of our sales. So I tell you that family is a key part of my life, and I value, and I think as others would say, if you don't invest in your family, you will struggle in your business, because you need them when your business is struggling or is facing challenges. You need their advice, you need their views. They will be your key partner. So that is for me critical. And my time is, I go to business and I come back home early. I'm not going to overwork, because the business will never fall as long as I have equipped my team. That's why I was mentioning I couldn't afford to lose any of my staff members. Value of the people you have in your team and value of your family is critical for the growth of the business. For me, that has been my bottom line. And most of all, my Heavenly Father. He's been a backbone and giving me hope, even when you think there's no hope.
Beautiful, beautiful. Kudos to the men who give us the kind of support that we require in order to do these amazing things that we do as women. Margaret, Hatawewe, you're a family woman. How do you cope?
I'd like to answer this from a different perspective. Yeah. From the beginning of my business,
there are children in the room as well.
Yeah. We are talking about family.
Yes.
They're expected to be there.
And they're very welcome.
Yeah. When we set up the business, my extended family was involved in the business. And this meant that I had to put in place systems very early in the business that were going to last a lifetime. So I started having a vision of succession, a vision of continuity from the beginning. For me, I will answer it. You can only succeed, be it if the business is for the spouse or other partners. You can only succeed as a woman if you have systems in place. I remember I attended a training by Goldman Sachs in 2016. And the first thing they asked us is, they told us, we want you to take a holiday for 3 months. Will your business close down? Because as the owner of the business, you're the operator, you're the manager, you're the everything. And that is the first time I realized, actually, if I went on holiday, my business will close. And so I started putting systems in place that enable the business to continue. This is in relation to the question was asked, because the question was asked in the context that it is expected that if you're a woman, you're so busy that if you move away to do your home activities, your business will crack. So in general, the issue is to set up a business such that it can survive Corona, it can survive family issues, it can survive competition, it can survive everything. So put your systems in place. That is the way I would answer that question. Because to expect that we will automatically all have family that is supportive may not be realistic. Because it is, we have seen companies that have gone down because at some point families have had conflicts. And so you have to prepare your business for anything, be it the positive or the negative. That is how I would address that question.
Thank you. You've brought something out that's very important, dealing with issues, especially when you work with your spouse, like Mavis does, and you do as well. You find that you cannot easily separate the office from the home because we're all human. So Mavis, how have you managed when it's time to deal with such things? How is conflict management handled in your business?
It's a process. I think it's a process. We are human beings. We've got feelings, and those feelings sometimes do get better of you. But what I realized as time went on, it was on my part to change, to put myself in the position that will actually have an amicable relationship.
Wow.
It was on my part to change and say, okay, this is how I am going to deal with conflict within the home. But it was a process. It takes time.
It does.
And you have to work at it. But I think what is important is you as an individual to realize that, yes, it's an issue that you have to deal with it, and deal with it from your perspective. Because what we have, you don't have the ability to change somebody, but you've got the ability to change yourself.
Change yourself, exactly.
So it's all about mindset as an individual, your attitude to how you handle everything, and then you work on it. But it is a process. We haven't gotten there yet, but we by and large, I think we're getting there.
Beautiful. It's a walk.
Yes.
The journey is the most beautiful part of it, not necessarily the destination.
Yes, because what you find out in the initial start of the business,
right,
the issues that you argue about are totally different now. So that's why it's a journey, as you said. And a journey is like, the landmarks that you get to are different every single time.
It's true. It is so true.
And of course, what is also important, I think, is to ask wisdom from God. That is what is important. Because alone, sometimes you'll not be able to
you have to go inward.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful. So Isabella, we have gone 43 minutes in addition to the 1 hour.
Yeah.
It looks like this is a conversation that Africa is very much interested in. I see questions are still coming in. But for the sake of timing, we will have to close this session. We will be announcing the next round of discussions and panelists very shortly. For those who still have questions, please stay tuned. You will find out, and then the next panel, you'll have even more insight. Thank you again for your time. We appreciate your participation. Special thanks to Mavis. Thank you for staying on. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Grace. Thank you all for remaining with us. Until we come your way again, and that will be very soon, keep winning, keep trying, and don't forget, we're all in this together. Blessings on you all. Have a good day.
Funke, sorry, before you go,
Thank
since
you.
we have so many of the ladies here, could we just quickly do a quick photo? Everyone can just turn on their video. We have 64 participants who are still engaged. So ladies, yeah, I invite you to turn on your video and we can just do one shout of love. Yes. And then we'll send you an email. Yeah, we will send you an email with
your photos on it.
Yeah, with the photos on it, and then also just
Hi,
a feedback
Eunice.
form.
I'm seeing some very beautiful faces that I had not seen all day.
Yes.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
ladies,
Mercy,
you
this
can
is
just
what we're
stand on
calling
your
the
photo.
family photo, right?
Yeah.
Shall we
Isabella,
then?
You can allow the, I don't know, the
But Mercy, it's a functionality that, you know, it doesn't come with this platform.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
We'll just take the ones that are here.
So I'll take with your names on it then. Just give me 1 second. Just quickly.
I like my smile next to Mavis's.
Then the final page. Let's do the final page now. Yes. Now we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, and good evening.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Have a
God
beautiful
bless you.
weekend.
Thank you.
And see you again soon.
We love you.
Thank
you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
See you again
very
soon.
much.